Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who wrote ignorant called Jesus Christ. Shema Yasharala Yahweh, Allahaya Yahweh Yahweh Achad. Here is the Lord God and Lord. All right, this is the feast of dedication, the night that the temple was rededicated unto Yahweh. Okay, what we about to do? Hey Google, shut off. All right, Slaki about that. What we're about to do right now is we're about to go into a little history, let you know how it started, how everything began when it comes to the Feast of Dedication. And we're going to show you how Christ kept the Feast of Dedication and everything. We're not going to go into any prophecies. We're just going to give you some history of it and why we do it and everything else, all right? So what we're going to start off with right now is First Maccabees chapter 1. Hey, all right, here we go. So the water for y'all for tuning in. Those who are tuning in, coming in after the crowd just came in, we're about to do a little history on the Feast of Dedication. All right. So, Officer Zanak Arya, Babu Kasha, can you please give me First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1? Sir.
This First Maccabees chapter.
All right, go ahead.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened after Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians, and Medes, and he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars.
Light, huh? Need some light, right? We'll get that other phone over there. Slovakia. I know you read better than that. So, you know. Here we go. Go ahead, start over.
All right. This is First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
Because remember, it went to Babylonian Empire, and then what? Persians and the Mede Empire,
right.
And then the Greeks, Greek Empire, then the Roman. All right. So this is the Persians, who today are the Syrians, and the Medes today are the Samoans, the Japhite head shrinking suckers. All right. Go ahead.
It made many wars and won. And made many wars and won many strongholds.
Right.
And slew the kings of the earth.
Right.
It went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
So when you go into history, you can see every time they conquered these nations, that when he went into verse 2, it made many wars and won many strongholds and slew kings of the earth. Those were a lot of the dark nations. These Greeks right here are so-called white people today. So those nations and kings that they killed were dark nations, Hamites and stuff like that. All right, go ahead.
And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations, and kings became tributaries unto him.
And that's what he did. He sucked in all those kings and nations that he conquered, all their men, the dark nations. And when you look into history, you'll start seeing that a lot of so-called Africans became a part of these kings of Philip the Macedonian and them, the empire for their army. All right, go ahead.
And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them, while he was yet alive.
So this has to do with a lot with the four generals. All right, Cassander, Ptolemy, Antiochus, and Seleucus. All right, go ahead.
So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Huh.
And
I
his servants,
want you to skip up to verse 9.
verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So did their sons after them. Many years and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right, and this is when he's talking about they crowned themselves. Well, already Alexander the Greek already crowned them. You know what I'm saying? To take a hold of his provinces and everything, but then also their kids as well start putting on this pride and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And there came out of them a wicked root,
Right.
Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes,
Mm-hmm.
son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Right.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
And that's like our people today. They're scared to depart from, you know what I'm saying, from the heathen. Right? And a lot of wicked men went around persuading them like the churches do today. They're teaching that slave doctrine. They're persuading our people to be a part of this government. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know damn well Biden or Trump is not going to do nothing for you. But we got our wicked men. They go get our coons and persuade them to come into the covenant of the white man. Go ahead.
So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were too forward herein, that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem.
Right, stop there. Skip over to verse 41, because we just going to stick with the history. All right.
Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
This is a democracy. And this is the same thing they push today. What I'm trying to do is give you the history of how it began and how it started of us coming into the Feast of Dedication, all right, and rededicating the temple of the Most High.
Come.
All right, go ahead.
Moreover,
King
Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Right, and that's what they push today. We are all one nation. We are all one people. This has been happening ever since the Greek Empire. Read.
And everyone should leave his laws, for all the heathen agree, according to the commandment of the king.
And that's what you call neo-colonialism. You got people from China, people from Iran, people from Iraq. Everybody leave their laws and they God, and now they celebrating Christmas. I work for the federal government. I drive buses, right? And I'm going into the part of El Cajon City where there's a lot of Chaldean, and they're celebrating Christmas. They got Christmas trees, Christmas lights out in front with a white Mary and everything else. It's kind of crazy having a white Mary, knowing that it's just crazy, but they got everything out there in the front yard. They are taking a part of the colonialism because of what? Imperialism. Go ahead.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
And also these are the Israelites right here, right?
And it's crazy how it talks about, how Antiochus wanted the Israelites to leave their laws, right? And it talks about how we went into their religion. Get it? You see how the word religion is a bad thing? You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted us to go into their holdback.
Not only that, but like when I'm at my job, I had to refer to my heritage as my religion. And you will also see Mattathias and Maccabeus and them talk to them and refer to their heritage as a religion. Right. Go ahead.
And sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath.
You just start at 44.
Verse 44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, and they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
And he sent out letters, right? Today they sent out what? Red alerts. Everybody stay home. Right. You know what I'm saying? They send everything out, right? And they doing it now. And sooner or later they're gonna be sending alerts out talking about you are not to do this. This is one world order. All right, read.
and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
And that's the things that are just going to go happen. It's going to happen. Watch.
Verse 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with
Their
all manner of
minds-
uncleanness.
Their minds abominable with all unmanner of uncleanness.
And profanation. To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
And that's what he wanted to do. To the end, from you leaving your heritage and your culture and everything and your laws and ordinances, that you forget them. And you start following their laws.
They're trying to cut us off from being a people, like it talks about in Psalm chapter 2.
And that's where you get a lot of Hellenistic Jews. All right? Go ahead. Let's stay with the history real quick. Now we're finding out what they're doing in the democracy. Now we're finding out, we're gonna see the imperialism in this next one. But right now you're just seeing a neo-colonialism. You're seeing everything happen. All right? Go ahead, read.
Convert.
We're gonna skip to First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1.
This is First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1.
Right?
In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jared from Jerusalem, and dwelt at Modin. Right?
Yeah.
And verse 2. And he had 5 sons. Jonan, called Caddis.
Joanan, yeah.
Called Caddis. Simon, called Dassi. Judas, who was called Maccabeus. Eleazar, called Aran. And Jonathan, whose surname was Apphus. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people.
Stop there. What did he see? Those blasphemies. He saw lies. He saw things that should not have been happening. Nah, that don't go like, you shouldn't be doing that. Like we do today, bro. You shouldn't be doing that. Don't do that. That's against the law, man. That's blasphemy, bro. You're profaning the Sabbath. You're profaning the temple. You're profaning the altar. You're doing all these things that you should not be doing. And they getting pissed off. And it's, why wouldn't you? Every time you sacrifice on the altar, the Most High sends this fire down from the heaven and takes it off of there. So imagine that, man, like you so one with the Most High, bro. You know how beautiful that'd be just to see that come down from heaven, a fire that's coming down, taking those sacrifices off the altar. Man, that's a beautiful thing. Go ahead. And the Holy City. Verse 7.
Verse 7. He said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there when it was delivered unto the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers.
Right.
Her temple is become as a man without glory. Her glory is
Stop right there. We don't want to get into that part. We just want to stay to the history and the things that are pertinent to today and give the people an idea of what's going on. So what I want you to do is go to First Maccabees, skip to 10, verse 10.
Verse 10. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten her spoils?
All right, check this out. Now that we've showed them that, go up to verse 8 and read back down.
Verse 8. Her temple is become as a man without glory.
Now, what nation have not had a hand in the spoil? Listen to the temple. Read.
Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity.
Right.
Her infants are slain in the streets.
Start at 8.
Verse 8. Her temple has become as a man without glory.
Has become a man without glory. Read.
Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity.
Right.
Her infants are slain in the streets.
Right.
Her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
Hey, the gates are going to be open in the new kingdom all day, all night. Why? So the kings of the earth can bring everything back what they took from them. Everything back. Now, this is a similitude of talking about us, but at the same time, our vessels was taken out. A lot of our gold and everything was taken out of our temple, even Azteca. You feel me? What's up? Puerto Rico, yep, Port of Riches, and everything else. Hey, the gate's going to be open fully all day, all night. Everybody's going to be bringing everything back. All right. Go to skip up to 15, brother Pusha.
Verse 15. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city Modin to make them sacrifice.
Now here comes the imperialism. Here comes the army. Here comes the threats. Here they come in a big drove against our people. It's that threat. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together.
Right.
Then answered the king's officers and said unto Mattathias, on this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Right. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem.
So he's like bigging him up, bro. Like, hey man, you're an honorable and great man in this kingdom, and you got your sons and your brothers with you. Won't you go first? Because if he go first, everybody else gonna follow. hey, ain't about to happen, brother. Okay, read. Watch this.
Which one that? 18. Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
Right.
Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandment.
And all the nations do that. When you read Daniel, when you go into Daniel, he tells you that all the nations, even though they're here in America or they're over there, they still don't do what the hell they tell them to do. They do their own thing. They do their own. We'll follow Christmas, whatever. We'll hang some lights up. We don't care about that. We're just doing it for the look.
Right.
They doing it back then. They still doing it today. All these nations have come over here and soak up this colonialism and take everything and call our culture an American culture. I dress like this because it's an American culture. He wasting his heritage to waste. They ain't got no heritage. They ain't got nothing. They ain't got no style. You can't call our culture an American culture. That's crazy. Read.
Yeah, line. And my sons and my brother walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
So I could give me a second. All right, Slack. Go ahead.
What was that? Verse 20 something? Okay,
yeah.
20. Verse 20. Yet will I and my son and my brother walk in the covenant of our fathers.
So Mattathias is saying, basically, bro, I ain't doing none of that. I'm gonna walk into the covenant of my fathers, man. He looking at dude right in his face in front of all these people. Mattathias looking, he do got all the soldiers around, all the cops they got around. Back then they didn't care at all. Go ahead.
God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's word.
Yeah, we ain't listening to none of that, man. Hey, get out of here with all that mess.
Either on the right hand or the left.
We're going to stay straight, man. We ain't moving to the left or right. Go ahead.
Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar.
And this is what I was just talking about. Imagine you being in front of all these police officers, right? You know what I'm saying? You filled with the spirit, bro. You filled with the spirit. And you got a brother come up here and about to sacrifice on the temple. this brother got balls right here. I want to be like this brother today.
Which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment.
Right.
Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to shew his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
He went and killed that brother right in front of all
that's crazy. That's like the brother that was in the crowd that went to go sacrifice him to idols, while Mattathias was saying that, brother in the crowd was basically like, "Yeah, what you talking about? I'm finna do this." You know what I'm saying? And Mattathias was like, "Oh, okay, cool, right?" Bam! Smack that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
He was about to go sacrifice the pork.
Right.
So he slew him.
Right.
But got slew. You know what I'm saying? Right in front of the officer.
Everybody. Hey, Mattathias showed that he was real.
Go ahead.
Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to shew his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time. And the altar he pulled down.
He killed him too. The king's commissioner, he laid him to rest. Like, bro, come on, man. Y'all ain't finna get on the altar and do that, man. Go ahead.
Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phineas did unto Lamberry, the son of Salome. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, "Whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me." So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city.
So what was that? What verse was that?
28.
28, that was verse 28.
All right, keep on going. We're going to verse 35.
Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness and dwelt there, both they and their children and their wives and their cattle.
So them people, you know, they started feeling that persecution. It was like, man, we finna go down and hide in the secret places in the wilderness. Go ahead.
Because afflictions increased sore upon them.
Right.
Now, when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down in the secret places in the wilderness.
Now they're just reporting back about that. Now they're just reporting back about Mattathias right now. Go ahead.
They pursued after them, a great number, and having overtaken them, encamped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day.
Sabbath. And these are the people that were hidden in the secret places in the wilderness, right? Go ahead.
And they said unto them, "Let that which you have done hereunto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment."
Whatever y'all done right now, let that go. We're going to let that go. Just come back and do what y'all got to do right here. You know, we need slaves. In his mind, we need slaves. Y'all got to come back and just do what we want y'all to do. Go ahead.
And you shall live. But they said, "We will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day." So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered, they said, "Hey, we just gave them the business." Right? Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid. That was past 35.
Keep going. Skip up to 239. I mean, skip up to verse 39. Sorry.
Verse 39. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. And one of them said to another, "If we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and the laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth."
Because the people that was hidden in secret places, they didn't even want to fight on the Sabbath. They just stood there and got slaughtered. So now Mattathias and them, they all talking amongst each other like, "Man, hey, bro, I ain't doing that. If we allow them to kill us on the Sabbath, they will uproot us all." Period. Keep reading.
At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, "Whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all, as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places." Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily.
So stop right there. Skip up to verse 50.
Verse 50. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give you lives for the covenant of your
And
fathers.
this is the time when Mattathias was about to pass away and everything else. All right, go ahead.
Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall you receive great honor and everlasting name.
And that's the thing, is we got to remember how our forefathers did, how they went to war, how they were rewarded for everything at times like this, and going into times like this, how they were brave and bold and everything else. At this time right now, the Feast of Dedication is a time for everybody to remember how to be tough and how to be men in times like this, and not to be scared in times like this. And know every time something happened, the Most High delivered them out. That commandments of the Most High, and follow them. They followed the commandments of the Most High. They remembered them. They didn't even let them go. That's when we was reading in Romans, and when he said in the last days people going to be either fall away from persecution, lacking, and everything else. At a time, these brothers didn't lack. They stayed bold in the face of affliction. Brother killed and slew the commissioner and another Judite brother in front of the police. Slew them. You ain't finna do that. We ain't got no temple to slay nobody, but if we did, it is what it is. Keep going.
Was not Abraham
66.
Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation?
Now you just show them examples of our forefathers that did it and excelled. Read.
And it was imputed unto him for righteousness.
Yep.
Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment. It was made Lord of Egypt.
Why? Why was he distressed? Because one of the officers' wives accused Joseph of raping her. Read.
Phineas, our father, and being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of the everlasting priesthood.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel.
As he so fulfilled.
Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage
As
of the
a
land.
young man, as a young buckaroo, he stayed beside Moses at all times.
David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, and was taken up unto heaven.
These are just bomb examples.
And Ananias, Azarias, and Mizal, by believing, were saved out of the flame.
They was thrown inside that fire. And it was like, are they walking around in there? They were just walking around. There was an angel in there with them.
Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions.
Mm-hmm.
And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not that the words of the simple man, for his glory shall be dung and worm.
And that's what should go through your mind. Hey man, my forefathers were saved when they believed in the Most High. All these examples of our forefathers not dying in the time of affliction, the Most High saving them out of the time of affliction, when he keeps on telling us through scriptures, through books, through chapters, that he saved those who love him out of the time of affliction. He just wants to see what you're going to do. If the Most High is a man of war, ain't no bitch niggas around him. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? There's none. You know what I'm saying? You either lay down or get down. That's it. You got to figure it out.
What?
We're going to go to verse 66. Read the verse 66.
Verse 63. To the day he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing. Wherefore you my sons, be valiant to shew yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for it shall be you obtain glory. And behold,
read that part again. That was very powerful.
Wherefore you my sons, be valiant and shew yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall you obtain glory. And behold, I know.
And those who lack are going to forget that. Or they're going to forget the examples that were shown on how we got to be. That's it. And if we all remember, because at the time of affliction, you will forget anything. You'll forget anything. You'll forget it. A little bit of affliction will make a man forget his whole damn life.
Get a couple fingers chopped off. You start to
what law was that? What law was that? That's why it gotta be rooted in you. It's just rooted. You already, bro. You're either gonna be delivered out of affliction, if you get into affliction, if you have faith in the Most High to get you out of it, you are. That's it. All right. Go ahead.
And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel.
Uh-huh.
Give ear to him always.
So he's
He
telling
shall
his
be-
brother Simon is a man of counsel, man. Just give ear, listen to your brother. Listen to him. He's going to help you get through a lot of stuff. Read.
He shall be a father unto you.
Right? Not his father, actually, just like a spiritual father, like Paul was to them, like I am to y'all. It's a father figure. Not a father, but just, father figure, word wise. I mean, it is what it is. Go ahead.
As for Judas Maccabeus, he hath been mighty and strong, even
Uh-huh.
from his youth up.
So when y'all start reading the rest of it, hey, Judas Maccabee, boy.
Him and Eleazar,
Yeah.
nuts.
They beasts.
That they talking about how Eleazar jumped off an elephant to another elephant to kill no, they was riding horses, and Eleazar jumped off his horse, killed the dude on the other horse, and jumped back on his horse. Those dudes some crazy stuff, bro. Some acrobatic type stuff, bro.
That's some stuff you see on like Cowboys and Indians.
The hundred.
Man, man, they some grounders, man.
Hundreds, man. Y'all with that show. I'm glad y'all don't watch that no more.
Man, we finished it.
Y'all finished it?
It's like they off the 100.
Oh, y'all weirdos, man, for that. But
Man,
go
that
ahead,
was
Let's
good,
finish. Let's finish.
That was on there.
That was 66. So let's go over to First Maccabees 4 and 54. Now let's get what's going down. All right.
First Maccabees, chapter 4, verse
And we're gonna read it 59.
54.
Yeah.
Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that what it was dedicated with songs and kitterings.
Oh, so start that over again.
Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it,
Mm-hmm.
even in that was it dedicated with songs and citterings and harps and cymbals. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness.
And this is what happened. Go back to 54. Let me see real quick. You mumbled a little bit. You got to bring that out. It says, look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it. Even in that was it dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals. Go ahead.
Verse 85. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields and gates. In the chambers they renewed the hanged doors upon
at this time they're rededicating the temple of the Most High. They're rededicating it because all the swine flesh that was sacrificed over here in the temples and everything else, now they got a new one, rededication. And it's also a prophecy in Daniel about this happening. I don't know it fully, so I ain't gonna be presumptuous to break it down. Go ahead.
Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days from the 5 and 20th day of the month. Caslu with mirth and gladness.
That was 59. That was 59?
Yeah.
Read 59 again.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days from the 5 and 20th day of the month. Caslu with mirth and gladness.
So why was the dedication? Why is the feast of dedication important? Because it is a reminder of what? With all the high holy days, what does it have in common with the feast of dedication? With all the high holy days, what does it have in common with the feast of dedication? With all our high holy days, what does it have in common? Go ahead.
Sacrifice.
Oh.
I would not say only that, but it when it comes to all of our days, feast days, or whatever, it always comes with a purpose of the Most High bringing us back to Him. It always has some type of purpose of reconciliation with the Most High.
What would you call it though?
Right here is the rededication.
Right.
But
You said it. You said it, but you ain't saying what I want to hear. You said it.
Ask somebody else.
Yeah, okay. You said it.
I'm trying.
But I'm trying to get some specific.
So the question was
Repentance.
With all the high holy days, what does it have in common with the Feast of Dedication?
being married and
Go ahead. You want to try to answer? Go ahead.
so
Because he touched on it. He rubbed her. He rubbed her.
Time to get her going, huh?
Yeah. If you say the right word, it's good.
So all of the feast days you give sacrifices to Most High. That's what you have in common with Hanukkah.
With all our high holy days, what does it have in common
But
with the
bringing
Feast
of Israel back into the congregation.
You can say that, but it's
It's kind of the same thing I said.
Yeah, that's one.
yeah. How would I name
You
it?
said that's what.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. The deliverance of Israel.
Okay, that's what. Okay.
The deliverance of Israel. That's what it has in common with the deliverance from the heathen. That's what all our high holy days have in common, because the Most High, it was a deliverance. Feast of Unleavened Bread, Passover, high holy days, the deliverance of Israel. So we being delivered from the heathen and everything. Once you start reading through First Maccabees and Second Maccabees, bro, you're gonna see everything today. They haven't, like, their government is still the Roman Council. It still is. Yeah, it's the same
The
thing,
only
man.
thing that changed about it was it got worse.
Yeah, they slick talk.
That's
That's why they wanted Trump out of there. Nah, brother, we gonna slick talk them. We gotta deal with them wisely.
Yeah.
We gotta
See the
slick talk
uproar.
them.
They
Yeah,
even got
buddy.
their people, our people on their side.
So with that, man, we give all praises and honor and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorant called Jesus Christ. Shema Yasharala Yahweh, Allah Yahweh Yahweh Achad.
The original Lord God, the Lord.
Khan.